Hi, I'm Terry Murphy, Senior Editor for Realty Times, Women in Business, Women in Real Estate, and In the Men's Room with Murph. I'm also the founder of the Women's Wisdom Network, which helps me bring women to other women who need help in their business and personal and professional lives. And today we are graced with a fabulous woman in business. Her name is Rachel Wayte. Would you not believe that this woman was a classical and opera singer who has now turned her energies and life and passion to energy healing and as a spiritual mentor? She comes to us, and you'll notice, with the graceful, lovely lilt of her voice from Manchester, England. Welcome, Miss Rachel, where it's like dinner time there, correct?
Yes, thank you for having me, Terry. It's an honor of mine to be here. Yes, so it is dinner. It's 7 p.m. over here, over in the UK. So yeah, dinner time, bedtime for my daughter.
Yeah, so we are a mom, we're a wife, and we are now an energy healer. I had the privilege of meeting you, Rachel, at the Unstoppable Influence through Natasha Hazlett, another gift of women helping women. And I've known Natasha since she was little. But you said it was March 2018. It just kind of struck you
Yeah,
that you were, I'm going to use the word stuck.
yeah.
Could you elaborate and tell us your journey from, opera singer to healer does not normally kind of translate, but we're thrilled that it did. So tell us a little bit about that. Share it.
Okay, so yes, so I trained in opera singing, classical singing, probably about 15 years ago, 15 years ago. So in my early 20s, and now I'm 40. Well, nearly my mid 40s. And so I very much loved singing, but found being in the opera world and that environment was not great for me. There was a lot, and I don't know if this will resonate with other people, but when I was studying it and when I was at music conservatoire, there was a lot of criticism and there was a lot of
Imagine that criticism and judgment.
and
Yes.
judgment. And
Yes.
so for me, I'm quite an empath, and but I didn't know much about energy then. I just felt it, and my way of dealing with that was to shut myself down, so that I didn't have to face any more criticism, so that I didn't have to face any more rejection. I actually, my voice got weaker and weaker, and actually I didn't want to use it anymore because I didn't want any more rejection. I didn't want any more hurt. So although I loved singing, I actually decided that I needed to come out of that world. It wasn't really helping me, and I needed to leave it behind. And I actually decided that once I'd left that world behind, I wasn't going to use my voice again. That was it. It was shelved. And I actually just shut that down. I said, no, I'm not using it. And fortunately, I married a musician. I married a composer. So we still had music going on. He plays the piano. So I still kept in there, but I didn't share it with anybody. And so I thought, well, what am I going to do after this? And I went into the corporate world. I tried the corporate world. Really not a good idea for me.
I could have helped you with that. That would not have been a normal segue, Miss Rachel, for somebody who empathically felt rejection. Tells me that your frequency is way higher than that.
And what I felt in that corporate world was stress. I felt anxiety from lots of people, stress, anxiety, and I saw it. I saw it all happening, and I thought, A, I need to get out of this, and B, I need to be able to help these people. I don't know how that is going to work yet, but I knew. So I actually, after being in it with 2 years, I'm going to be honest, I had to leave with stress and anxiety. I actually just quit my job, and I because I was having panic attacks. I was not happy, and I just had to take myself out of that situation. And actually just led me into the world because I've always wanted to help people, and I've always been quite open um, about sort of spiritual things, and it actually led me to becoming a massage therapist. So yeah, that was my segue.
Better segue, better segue.
Yes. So that was my segue into this world. So I trained as a massage therapist. So I have to actually crafted my trade, I would say, for about 6 or 7 years, working as a massage therapist, one-to-one with people, understanding people's emotions, understanding what they go through, and helping them to release their pains, their anxieties, whatever was going on for them. I did that through massage. And then, like you said, about 3 years ago, even even was I was running my own business as a massage therapist, I was starting to feel really stuck. I was starting to feel like there was more I should be doing. I didn't know what it was, and there was more I needed to be sharing, and I needed to get out of just the one-to-one world of me in a massage room. That was, I was doing so much great work for my clients, but I just felt, okay, now that it's time for more.
To scale up.
To scale up, yeah. And that came with fear, that came with anxiety, that came with, so at that time I felt tearful a lot of the time. I felt emotional. I felt like I had a lot of doubt, so that I could do any more than what I was doing. So there was a lot of doubt as well. And as you mentioned, that's when I came across Unstoppable Influence, and it gave me the nudge to go, actually, yeah, there's more I'm meant to be doing.
Okay, so I happen to know that Unstoppable started pretty much in Boise because Natasha is from Memphis, and I know her family. And so you are in Manchester, England. All
I
right.
am.
So it wasn't like you just stumbled into Boise, Idaho. So, I mean, there was another divine connection there. And the reason I'm trying to draw attention to that is so often in the runway of life, there are these people, these angels, these divine interventions that put us in a direction we had not anticipated, never thought. We don't think we thought about it, but we, some level we did,
Yeah.
to create the opportunity. So here you are, mom, wife, ex-corporate, ex-massage, as you say it, and boom, there you are in Boise.
Do you want me to tell you how that happened?
I do, yes. I want you to share your story.
So there I was. So there I was in a cafe one day, okay, feeling really low and really, in fact, I was crying. So I got my journal out and I wrote, I need somebody to help me bring my gifts together with my business, my spirituality. And I put it out. I said to the universe, I said, please help me with this. I need somebody to help me. And I put it out there. And then 2 days later, as I'm scrolling through Facebook, up pops this advert for Unstoppable Influence. And it was something like, do you feel like you were meant for more, but you're not sure what that is yet? And I was like, oh, yes, that's me.
Got my name on it. Yes.
And that's what drew me. And because we can be connected now via the internet and Facebook and everything, I could do everything from over here.
Well, I did share your presence when we had the last Unstoppable Influence that was in the physical, which was in Nashville, I believe, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
And you and Joseph Clough and myself and Don Hudson and a number of other presenters got to share a session with you.
Yes.
And that created some real awareness for people that are feeling weighed down and stuck. Mm-hmm. Because so often, but here's the key, I think, to what you just shared with us. And that is that you said, I asked the universe for help. Now, women notoriously do not ask for help. No. They feel they can muscle through alone. I mean, we've studied that through our 1 Minute Negotiator series with women and adaptability. There's books on it by, Babcock and Lashever about how women don't ask, because we're expected to go above this. I mean, we're mothers, we're team leaders, especially in business. God forbid we should show a weakness or an inadequacy. OMG, that's not supposed to happen. So, but you had to have a certain amount of courage, may I say, bravery, a faith.
Yes.
Which again goes to the testament of we never really do connect with our highest possibilities, and that's what Unstoppable Influence was about.
Yes. So I did. I think also I'd probably got to that point, like now I would probably ask a lot earlier, but at that stage I'd probably got to that point where I was like, okay, this is my last option. Now it's time for me to ask because nothing else is working. So like I'm putting out a prayer there right now. And I think sometimes women do that. We leave it quite late. And I think a lesson I've learned from that is to ask earlier if I'm struggling. And what else was I going to say? And how I hadn't talked to you about how I actually started singing again, how this actually then
Well, we hadn't gotten there yet because what I do want to know how you got to start singing again, because I believe it came through when you were working with a client.
Yes, it did.
But
So
why don't you tell us that story?
sure. So there I was. I came across Unstoppable Influence and I realized, okay, I was letting go of my own fears, my own anxieties around who I was and what I had to I was practicing sharing my voice, as in speaking a lot more on Facebook Lives and learning to share my message. And what this is me doing it again. So one day, like you said, deciding, making a decision. So one day there I was like, okay, I'm focusing on growing my business. I don't know exactly how that's going to go yet, but I know that when I work with clients, there's more that I feel needs to happen for them. I pick up on things that's going on for them, and I just know what's wrong. It's just very intuitive. It's just a gift that I have. So I put it out there again. I said, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for what I need to do next. Show me what that is. What do I need to do next? And I just got this nudge to speak to a few clients that I already had and said, look, can I work with you in the way I feel really guided to work with you? This is going to be much more intuitive. It might not necessarily involve massage. It might be more energy healing work. Can I do that with? And a few of them were like, yes, please do that. So there I was with a client one day who I really trusted, and we knew each other quite well. And all of a sudden, all I can explain it was like my throat was going, "Ooh, ooh." And I said to her, I said, I'm going to start singing. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sorry. And I said, I'm going to start singing. Are you okay with that? And she said, yes. And all of a sudden, my voice just went, and I just started singing around her. And it was like this moment where I just went, oh, this all makes sense now. This is why I trained all that time in singing. That's why I went through all that I went through. That's why I now have this instrument I can use in a way it's meant to be using, which is by bringing healing vibrations and sound and to people, to their energy, so we can help them release trapped emotions, trapped stuck energy. And as I sang around her, she had all these releases. She started crying, and it was amazing. And that's when I realized this was what I was meant to be doing.
Well, that is a perfect segue into what you actually do, which is healing and mentorship. And
Mm-hmm.
I know that you have monthly healing circles. I know that there are plenty of people that have benefited from this magical energy that you have. I
Yes.
mean, I remember the first time I heard about it, I'm like, oh, what? She's going to
Yes.
sing and that's going to fix everything? Well, I don't think so. Of course, I'm a bit, a little older, a little more skeptical, but I watched transformation with
Mm.
some of those people. So tell us a little bit about the kinds of work that you do to help. If I was listening to this and I was going, oh yes, I feel stuck, I'm unhappy, I don't feel like this is my life's work.
Exactly.
What tell us, give us some kind of an overview of what you do and how you do it.
Okay, so that's exactly the type of people that I work with. The people that come to me are people that feel like their energy is stuck, or they're stuck in their belief system that they can't do things that they actually deep down should be doing, or they feel like there's more, there's something more. I don't know what that is, but I need help getting there. And what I help people do is, I'm sure you appreciate this, like we're all energy, we're all energy.
All
That's
connected, all energy, whatever. And when you're dead, we're all the same.
our body is energy, our body is vibration. And what can happen sometimes with people is um, emotions or traumas from the past, and that would create emotions. The emotions can get stuck within the body. They get stuck. Whether that's fear, whether that's anxiety, whether that's self doubt, whether that's negative thoughts, these emotions get stuck. And what I help to do, and if you can imagine, sound is also a vibration, it's also an energy. If this sound can really help penetrate the body, penetrate the emotions that are also an energy, and help them to move on, help them to get stuck, not stuck, sorry, unstuck, so that they can move on.
So frequencies are a part of energy. We all know that. You can have bright lights, low lights. You can have music that is very low key and music that is highly. I mean, and if you don't think that frequency works, just watch what happens when you put on music and there's a young baby.
Yes.
And the baby starts to dance. Now, nobody said, oh, that's what we call dancing. So we know that these things are real because I'm trying to be practical. I'm trying to really reduce this to practicality
Mm.
so that people understand that there is a frequency, there is energy. And when you vibrate at a high or a low, that's still vibration. So, so you connect with that energy.
Yes, and I help bring them from perhaps a lower vibration to a higher vibration, which means that then, so once these lower vibrations, let's say, have moved on, therefore they're feeling lighter, they're feeling more confident, they're feeling clearer, and they've got the energy to move forwards. They've got the energy to make changes. They've got the energy to what's the word, to move forwards and to take on new opportunities, so they're not as stuck as they were. And I help them also see what their gifts are, maybe what they should be doing as well. I can help them see and feel what the next stage is as well.
Okay, is that a one-on-one? Is it a one-time thing? Is it an ongoing thing? Is it a series?
So it depends. So most people, obviously, generally in one session, if you've been stuck for a long time and there's lots of things we need to work through, we can't deal with everything in one session. If it's been building up for years, you can't suddenly just expect, oh, I'm going to have 1 hour and I'm going to be sorted. It's a learning curve for you as well. So some clients I work with for 6 months, I see them regularly, maybe once a week and once every 2 weeks, and I see them to help them. There's things they need to let go of, and it's a process. So sometimes we need to go. There's like layers that we need to work through. So there's one thing we'll get to. We'll work on that. That will make sense to them. They'll understand that. They'll process that, and then we can go deeper. But we can't always get to the really deep stuff till we've worked through a few layers.
Layers, of course,
Like,
of course.
it's layers.
And so you assess that on a one-to-one basis,
Yeah,
so to
I
speak.
do.
But then you also offer healing in groups.
Yes, I do. So I offer on a monthly basis. People can come into my group, and I offer basically a sound healing session for people in that group, and they can come in for 30-40 minutes, and it's and they listen to my sounds. We tend to work on a certain what I feel on the day people need, whether that's they need to release, whether that's they need an energy boost, whether they need to just stop and feel some more peace. I really feel into that before the session starts, and then people can, I make this, people listen in, and then they can just come back to it, and if they need to listen to it again, they can do so. It's there on repeat for people.
Okay, and do you do this virtually or in
Yeah.
person?
No, it's all
Virtually.
the group thing.
Okay,
In fact, I work virtually with I don't do, at the moment, we can't see people
right.
face to face. So
Yeah, I understand.
everything we do is online.
Okay, so if someone wanted to join your monthly healing circle, what would be the process, as you would say? What's the process?
So how would I say the process is they would just go to rachelwayte.com and they can sign up there. All my information is on there. If they want to reach out to me, just to speak to me, they can do that and get to know me first, and I can understand, get to know them. They can do that, or they can just join the monthly healing circle from there.
And you also offer a weekly inspirational and intuition message. And
Yes.
how do you do that? What channel do you use for that?
I use YouTube for that. I always want to be able to offer people value and ways of being able to, just get something they might need, just for that week. So I have a YouTube channel that people can find me on. They subscribe to that, and each Monday I pop on a video there for people that if they just need a bit of inspiration, something to help them through the week, they can come and find it there. And there's lots of videos on there that people can listen to.
Okay, and I know that you do have positions on Facebook and LinkedIn and whatever, so people are able to reach out to you if they are feeling stuck, or in some cases it's a life event, obviously births, deaths, job changes, life changes, health changes, all of those things are frequencies
Yes,
that
I
you,
help people, yeah, people in pain. So I help a lot of pain, people who are physically in pain, and also people who have traumas from their past.
Yeah, and sometimes that manifests in other ways. So thank you for joining us. And it's Rachel, Rachel. Wayte is WAYTE.com. I hope you'll join us again for another session. And I hope you are all well and safe in Manchester. We love that accent. What is it about Americans? I mean, we hear it and we're in love. We're just in love. It's so beautiful. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Thank you for having me on. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Oh, as we say in Italian, molto piacere. The pleasure was ours. I'm Terry Murphy for Women's Wisdom Network. Thanks for joining us, and Rachel for this lovely segment, and this again for another segment on realtytimes.com.